Hello, my name is DC. I'll be giving a match analysis for the Russian Premier League and the two teams facing off each other. Please forgive me as I may mistake the pronunciation of these names, but Zenit versus Dynamo Makhackala. I already know I have not pronounced that well, but anyways, let's get into this. First goal of the game is a penalty. Unfortunately, the foul that leads to the goal is not shown. All I have is this. Takes a pen, slots it quick, easy, not really easy, but it's good. So now this goal is a bit funny though. It starts here. So at this point in time, you could say a bit of problems because let's try and divide the pitch, right? Not really divide, but let's just put in sections, right? So this is the first section. In this case here, one, two, three. Keep in mind the people in blue are the ones defending. One, two, three. And it's funny because they're with the players defend. Sorry, the people in I think this is Zenit, yes? They're the ones attacking. But the funny thing is that one, two, three are defending, yet they're nowhere near the ball and they're behind. And, sorry, they are behind the ball. He should really focus on here because he can do this and he should be here so that in case the ball goes there, he's there. Because look at the number of people that are committed already. You have four players on one side, and yet none of them are near the ball. And let's let this play a bit further. And it's here. He takes the ball, but I really don't think he meant to score this. Nah. Okay, I think it's one of those, he just decided to hit it, but there's another angle that gives us a very good look. Should be here. Yeah, so I think it's one of those. I hope it goes in. I think it's one of those type of goals because look at that. The way his leg moves and also also the way the ball spins tells a lot about the way the shot is. Yeah, I think that was an accidental goal, but if you don't shoot, you won't score. It really is like that. All right, let me just move it a bit back because I do believe he does get dispossessed. Yeah, you should have just let it just play. All right, so he has the right idea. He is seeing his teammate is here. He is in a very tough position, and it's very difficult for him to move the ball. So he decides to take a step further, and then what he can do is that he moves with this guy so that some space is created. Now, the problem is it just doesn't work out. He pushes the ball a bit too far, and then this guy comes in, so he blocks off his path to move. And yeah, he just took a heavy touch, couldn't get the ball, and ends up giving it back to the opponents. That's why sometimes you're better off just kicking it very hard because he was dispossessed in a very critical situation. So now it just becomes a very quick counter attack, just like that. And there was more than enough men in the middle because there were about three men on that particular side of the pitch. So if you just freed it up, just kicked it, even not necessarily just to kick it out, but there's that thing that happens whereby you have the ball, you can see that your teammate is in space. You don't necessarily pass it to him, but just within that space, he might have to chase it just to avoid the pass being intercepted, but better than nothing. All right, so they're on the counter here. Funny enough, they have more than enough men to deal with it. Because if you look at this, let's just draw like that. They have more than enough men. One, two, three, four, five. And then they only have one, two, and three. So what happens here? Here, I can understand. So he has he has a decision to make. Do I follow the ball? Or do I try and, time it so that he passes it here and I can intercept that ball? At this point, if I'm to be honest, go for the ball because one thing you never want is to give someone a direct route to goal. The worst thing you can do. So sometimes what you would do is that even if, let's say, for example, someone is in their own half, right, and then they are moving with the ball. If you just stand there, yes, he'll have to go this way. But it's better than him going straight because that's a direct route to go. So if he goes the other side, maybe he'll be on an uncomfortable position. Maybe he might be on his weak foot, or he might drag the ball a bit too wide. But what you don't do is you don't allow the person to go straight. You always have to inconvenience them in that slight of way. Because if you look at it, if he goes here, follows him, and then he moves here, and then he comes to cover that space, I think they would be quite alright. They really would. But unfortunately, that does not happen. So let me show you what does happen in this particular instance. So he waits for him. He gives him all the time in the world to lay the pass. And now, have you? So now, right before the goal is scored, do you see this open space here? Do you see this open space? And then in a few seconds, you'll see what happens next. You see that? This is what it's about. Do you see anyone here? No, you do not. And with the way that ball is played, you'd be no, he was trying to aim for him. No, he didn't reach him. But if you look, sorry, if you look, but if you wait a few more seconds, boom. Yes, that might have been a half-hearted pass, but maybe he did have the vision to see the person running there. And this is known as the late run. Arriving in the box late is can be a very good thing sometimes because everyone's attention at that particular point in time. Let's just move it a few frames back. Just further. All right. So, because if you look at this, everyone's attention is towards the everyone. Everyone is here. Everyone is falling in love. Yeah. So everyone is there, right? So, and it's completely understandable. He's outside the box. Maybe he has. I I do understand why he does put attention, but he could have just done a check left, right, because you always have to be checking left, right. People can come out of nowhere. They really can. So that he is able to see the person that's coming on his side. But I do understand why his attention is there, but he should be, looking all over the pitch. And just like that, the late run. Sometimes you don't, because if you look at it, there's only so much these two can do. So what that guy did was that he was a bit slow, not really slow, but maybe he decided to make the run late, or he wasn't really interested. But when he saw that there was space to exploit, he did it, and that's probably why he was able to reach there. But sometimes don't always be the first. Even being last can lead to good things. In this case, the good thing being a goal. Boom. Yeah, that's a really good goal. Just like that, of someone just being dispossessed. Let's head on to the last goal of the match. Closing minutes. If he isn't on a yellow, I would probably try and foul this guy. Because just for the sake of. And reason why I would foul is he's there, so I don't think it would be a direct red card since it has to be like an open field. They give him all the time in the world, and then what I like about this sometimes when you analyze certain football matches or certain players, and especially in the media, what if someone scores a hat trick? They'll be like, example, he's a person. Let's just say he scores a hat trick in a game, right? Everyone will be like, yeah, he did really well. He played very good. He was amazing. That's what everyone can see. What many people forget sometimes, maybe he scores a hat trick, right? But maybe in all of the goals that he scored, he was making selfless runs. By selfless runs, he drags a defender, he creates that space for this player to shoot. That's what some people forget sometimes because these runs go very unnoticed. They really do. Because that's what creates goals because he has to follow him. And then, yes, he is marking him, but if he sees in the corner of his eye someone running, just that slight amount of attention will go to him. And that split decision while he's still processing what's happening, he can cut and turn. And this is also in the last minutes of the game. He creates that space. He really does. Because as he's running here, he's following him. He's able to cut in. And by that time, yes, he's done his job perfectly. These are certain things that go very unnoticed but contribute a lot to whether a team scores a goal or not. Those selfless runs, they really do. And what I do like here, he takes it, and this is where he takes the shot from. But this is terrible. It's like they just give him the space. I mean, they're in. Yes, I understand it's late, but this is the amount of space he has to take on the shot. I know it's off a counter, but I do feel he could have turned a bit quicker and rushed him on better. Maybe he assumed he was in a terrible position to take the shot, but this is a lovely strike. It really is. Poof. Goal. I do feel the keeper could have done better though. Was it there? And even if he dangled, I don't. You're better off just throwing yourself. Throw your leg. Because if you just lift your leg, I mean, it's obvious you're not in a position to block it. That's a lovely strike. Really is. Otherwise, that's been my match analysis for this one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Yeah. Goodbye.